Hey guys.
Check complete. Let's head over to the bar.
Yes. And we're back again on this Easter Monday. He has risen. Jesus Christ himself rose yesterday from the dead. The only man that can do so and that has done so. You know what I mean? You know, all of us, we have one life to live, man. One life to live to see our clubs win things. And obviously for my goon friend Mace here, his team is very close to do a first. His team is very close to do a first. So much jubilance, much celebrations from Jay to the Mace. But let me just introduce him right now. But how you doing, man?
I'm good. That was a mad segue. I thought you were going into a sermon, trying to preach about Jesus Christ has risen and all of that. I was like, hey,
I'm going straight.
What podcast are we?
I have to link it. You know what I mean? I'm good with my words, man. I have to link it to your thing.
Fair enough. Now we're all good. As you just touched on, we're looking forward to the next stage of the Champions League. It's exciting times as a Gooner. Yeah.
Over there, Gooner stuff. How are you, man?
I'm good. We didn't put out a podcast last week. So apologies everyone. But we're back. We're back again. My team is winning. I'm good. Life is good. The summer's out. The sun's out. Can't complain.
Sun's out, guns out. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, man. I'm good as well, man.
How about you?
Yeah, I'm good as well, man. Chilling, family stuff, football stuff, football stuff, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Elijah, my younger son, who's 4 years old, he started his first football game last Saturday as well, where they do like mini tournaments of these small kids, and yeah, he did well, man. Scored a hat trick on his debut. I don't know, his team lost all the games, but you know he did his thing in it, so that's what's important at that level, man. But
it's good, like the Kai Rooney thing. I think I saw something on Kai Rooney. Maybe it's bullshit, but he was like, "Yeah, we lost 4-3. I scored all 3."
yeah, it's literally that, man. Unfortunately, yeah, I wasn't able to watch the game in it, but I was with the under-8s, but nah, man, he was. Yeah. Finally, he did his thing, man. But it was his first game, so he was still like nervous and figuring things out. But yeah, man. We're hopefully one of them makes it prime time. Not even hopefully, man. Let them just have fun, and we'll see where it will end up for them, man.
Yeah, that's what's important. You want to turn out to be like what's his name? The head of the Jackson. What's his name? I keep forgetting the names.
Joe Jackson.
Joe Jackson.
Bro, but there's even in football, there's many examples, right? I remember like Odegaard, him saying that his dad put him through work, 10,000 hours literally, and like even Mbappe, his dad was also like a youth coach as well. I think he was a footballer as well, right? His dad, pro bowler. I don't know.
I possibly. It wouldn't surprise me. Usually the apple don't fall far from the tree, but yeah.
Soboslai I heard as well. His dad put him through. So there's many Joe Jacksons in football, but you just don't hear of them. You know what I mean?
Do you reckon we'll get to have like a biopic of one of these guys? Because we had it. Football, because we had the Williams version, which was good because played by Will Smith. Yeah, we'll get a football biopic.
I don't know if any. I don't know if any. Maybe the Mbappe story, his dad, because I don't know if any of the football dads are like popular like that. Maybe Alfie Haaland, like Haaland's dad, he was a pretty well-known footballer. But other than that, who has the personality? Who has the? Now, I mean, because Serena Williams' father, he was pretty in the beginning stage, at least, pretty outspoken. He was there a lot. He was probably as popular as the Williams sister as well. So,
yeah, I mean, I guess that's the whole point of a biopic. You don't know what you know until you know it. You get so.
Yeah, but the point of a biopic is also people need to be interested in that biopic.
I guess Mbappe is in the first place. Interesting topic, though.
What? We're gonna make a movie about Mbappe's dad. How's Mbappe's dad? Unless it's about Mbappe, then yeah.
I mean, what Mbappe will feature. It's not like Mbappe ain't featuring in this biopic. He's gonna be there, so it's still gonna draw a crowd.
To be honest, yeah. If you just call it Mbappe and you show like the rise of Mbappe, but through the lens of the
Yeah.
dad,
Oh, the
that
dad,
might
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And him coaching Saliba and that for the part two. Get out of
Mm-hmm.
here, man. Look at him shaking
Hey,
his
man.
head.
Hey, man.
Get out of my sight, man. All right, man. Let's get into the shits, man. Yeah, this time round we'll switch it up, man. We'll switch it up for the Gooners, man, because this is the first time in 16 years that Arsenal have reached the semi-finals of the Champions League. As you know, if you follow football, as you may know, they drew Real Madrid in the quarterfinal stage. I think many people thought, this will be Curtis for Arsenal, another quarterfinal exit. Last season it was against Bayern Munich. This season it might be against Madrid. Obviously Madrid haven't really had a good Champions League campaign. They're also not really performing to their max in the league as well, even though they're still within touching distance of winning the league. But it's not all touch and go with Madrid. But yeah, Arsenal fans, of course, like Arsenal fans are, they're nervous. They were keeping it coy in regards to this particular tie. And then the first leg, 3-0. We didn't touch on it, but boom. Declan Rice with two amazing free kicks. His two first free kicks of his career, professional career at least. And what a way, man. Just quickly on that, man. Which one was your favorite?
It's got to be the second one.
Yeah,
It's got to
I
be
agree.
the second one. But although I was having this conversation with Sia, who's a Madrid fan, and he doesn't really rate the second one like that, and I was like, "Come on, bro, why are we doing this?"
Sia.
Because,
I forgot to ring him. Sia.
Don't worry, I rang him. I rang him.
That guy.
Don't worry. He didn't pick up his phone for the second Remontada
Second leg.
tie. He didn't pick it up.
We'll touch on that. We'll touch on that.
It's funny. That the goal itself, it's that saying, if you had like three keepers there, none of them are saving it, because just where the ball was placed, the power, the placement, everything was a beautiful free kick. So yeah, the second one was my favorite.
Do you put anything on Courtois, the way he was positioned? Because I don't know if he reached you guys, but Wesley Sneijder was very critical. Like on Dutch TV, it sounded like hate from where most people were standing.
If you pick up the Oxford dictionary and you see hater, you see that guy's bald, ugly head and his face here. There's nothing constructive that comes out from that mouth. It just seems like he takes that position. People like this. I must hate it. I must find something that I don't like about it, and that's my angle. And I'm trying to figure out. I need to go through the history books, but what has he won? He's won the Champions League with Inter.
Who? Wesley Sneijder?
Sneijder, yeah.
Don't. Wesley Sneijder's a big man. Don't.
No, he is, but like the type of hate, bro. No. I'm the type of hate. I need to look at it like bro. I know he has, but like I need to look at what he's done, because you see people like Seedorf, who's won the Champions League bare times. You can see those things like
I am not
he's
letting
constructive.
You do this. Be careful what you're saying.
No. I'm not
careful what you're saying. Wait, hold on. Okay, let's get his accolades. Let's get his accolades up, because he's got a fair few, man.
Because the hating that he's hating is crazy, brother.
He was just hold on.
So treble champions with Inter, didn't do much with Madrid.
He's won a lot. Well, I'm putting it up.
Yeah. Do that.
So Serie A champion with Inter, La Liga champion with Madrid, in a time where Madrid were poor. Obviously Eredivisie champion, Coppa d'Italia 2 times, Champions League once, FIFA Club World Cup once, Turkish League twice. Bro, FIFA World Cup runner-up, obviously 2010 famously. Should have won that.
Yeah.
And then look at the personal accolades. Team of the tournament, 08.
Okay, cool.
Euro Super Sister. Like, come on, man. Look at this. UEFA Midfield of the Year. If he gives criticism, it's kind of warranted, isn't it? But
brother, there's nothing warranted.
His thing sounded like hate.
It's hate, bro. There's nothing warranted about it. So in my head, I'm thinking, what have you won? But of course, he's going, like, in terms of what he's won. But in my head, I'm thinking the type of stuff you're espousing is just hate. There's nothing constructive. Because my reference point is looking like Clarence Seedorf, right? We know what he's done. But when he
Mm,
speaks, you can say, okay, he's being constructive here. And we get
mm.
that point. But Snyder is just it's like what why does he like I don't understand. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
think
man.
it's I think it's just a delivery of what he, because I kind of saw what he tried to say. But I think the way he delivered it and his facial expressions, he just seemed unimpressed,
Yeah,
man.
listen,
But
man, there's a delivery and there's delivery. That delivery was just like it's because we know the Dutch. You speak you basically speak your mind. I get that. I respect that. You know what I mean? That's that's what it is. But the way what he was saying, it didn't come from a place of okay. It's because if you're gonna criticize, it has to be constructive, right? Because what's
yeah,
the point?
yeah,
There's nothing constructive about what he said. So I just took it
yeah.
as just hey,
Yeah, let's leave that, man. Wesley Snyder, that's Shalom's take on your take. Um, but yeah, the first leg, 3-0. Obviously, Mikel Merino, he scored the third one, right?
yeah, he did.
He scored the first one. What did you think of the game itself in the first leg? Because you win 3-0. A lot of you guys were still like, anything can happen. We're not
Yeah.
gonna we're not gonna blow our trumpets yet. Blah blah blah. You were saying it as well. What about the first leg made you still feel that way? Was it just the Real Madrid aura, or was it what was it?
Yeah, I mean, yes, you have to take into account that these guys, Madrid, they have a history of turning things around. So on that basis, you have to be very cautious because the leg wasn't won; it was just half time, as they call it. Um, so yeah, that was my position. That's why I was my response to the group chat after we won was this isn't over. We've seen them do it so many times. City comes to mind as the latest ones in regards to their comeback. Yeah, and I think it was City and Bayern. Was it Bayern Munich?
There's been
Was
a
Bayern
few like
Munich?
City. There was like Wolfsburg as well. They did it too.
Yeah,
There was I want to say Schalke, but I might be wrong.
yeah,
But there was at
but
least two.
yes,
Maybe Bayern as well. Yeah, maybe
yeah,
Bayern as
Bayern
well.
Munich as well, because that's where what's it? Jose who scored the last minute goal. The one was
Yeah,
adjudged to be offside, but then VAR came and called
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
a goal. Yeah, yeah. So if you kind of cast your mind throughout history, you've known they just know how to pull out goals from the dying moments. So you have to be very cautious getting into the second leg. But I just wanted to touch on the first leg a little bit, more in particular the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And when I rewatched that game, that Madrid, a lot of things could have gone well for Madrid if they took their chances. Because at one point they were on top, and it was just a game of margins for Madrid. Because if they made certain decisions or if they executed well, that game could have been different in terms of the first half. And there's a lot of parallel you can draw with that Madrid game and coincidentally the Bayern Munich game last year, where really and truly the tie was lost in the first half with Bayern, where we scored and we let them score two quick goals. So I think if you talk about learning from your mistake and also being lucky, because you need an element of luck in this tournament, I think we took that step forward because we rode our luck. We didn't concede, and obviously we went to the second half and we just took. So yeah, I think I'll just drawing a lot of parallels between both quarterfinals and saying how certain decisions were made and how we in the buying game and how we learned from from those actions and decisions, and that kind of led us in good stead to winning that game. So yeah, great first leg. And then I guess we'll go into the second leg, the remontada.
Yeah, like for me, yeah, like I saw all that I needed to see from that first leg. Yeah, you're right.
Hmm.
There was a period in the first half. Real Madrid had their chances. But you have to bag, right? You have to take your chance, especially away from home. You
Hmm.
have to score. They didn't score. I think after that, I think it was kind of all Arsenal. Even though I didn't think Arsenal played particularly great, they did well
Hmm.
enough. But I didn't think Arsenal were great in that game, to be honest. But you did well enough. Um, and they couldn't handle Bukayo Saka. I think that was one player that that's one player that a lot of teams struggle with, because Bukayo Saka, as I mentioned in the group chat as well, he's very automatic when it comes to beating players. Like, he knows, it's like, I don't know if he studies his fullbacks that he comes up against, but he knows how to defeat different types of fullback. Yes, he's got answers. So I really like that about Bukayo Saka. And obviously he caused the 2 free kicks, right? That Declan Rice scored in. And then after that, it was all Arsenal. You could have possibly scored a 4th as well. I saw enough, man. I was like, Arsenal, like, you guys, if there's anything good about Arsenal, it's probably your defense, right? And your ability to not concede a goal. Not conceding more than 2 goals in 72 games, it's not coincidence. It is not coincidence. This is a coaching job from Arteta to switch you guys from getting pammed, especially on transition or whatever, to, okay, if you have to beat us, you have to basically be the better team. That's how you have to beat Arsenal. If you have to beat Arsenal, you have to be the better team, or get a bit of the rubber the green or something like that, innit? But if it's 3-0, there's no way, the way I saw it, there's no way Madrid are coming back for that. The only way Madrid was going to come back is if they got a quick goal, which obviously can happen, which could have happened as well. If they get a quick goal and then Arsenal, they will just get bamboozled by the occasion. Boom, night over. That whole week, bro, Madrid propaganda. Madrid, bro, I was getting sick, bro. I was like, why are you guys talking too much? Because even this, you're gonna lose, bro. You're talking too much. The football gods is not gonna allow you to.
It was embarrassing. I can't lie. It was embarrassing. It was
absolutely embarrassing.
The thing is, if you strip all of that like PR away, just looking at it from this point of view, the way I look at Madrid, you're 15-time champions, right? It doesn't matter if you lose this, right? You can sleep comfy. So essentially just say, right, we messed up that game. We'll be back. Keep it brief, because you got pedigree in this. There's no point for you to...
I think what it was, because even the aftermath of the game showed me a lot, they didn't want to lose to Arsenal. I think that's what it was. I think, like, if it was like maybe like a City or like a Bayern, like someone like that, I don't think they would be doing too much, I believe. But I think just because it's Arsenal, and I think Arsenal, because of, like, in Europe at least, you don't necessarily have that pedigree. Against them you do, especially now, against this particular position.
I do think one of the reasons why they didn't want to lose, because we are the only team that beaten them.
Yeah.
And they haven't beaten.
That's not been beaten.
They haven't beaten us.
That's not been beaten. Yeah.
So they didn't like that, and it just basically just spiraled. they spiraled after.
Bro,
and to be fair, if you get that 2 free kicks on your head top, you're losing your head. I can't lie. I would be losing my head as well. I'll be losing my head. So I understood it. I understood it. So
the thing is, I was talking to Ken about this as well, and like he was talking from a place of hate or whatever, but he was saying that, you know, Madrid can do it, the aura, they got match-winning players. I was like, they didn't do anything at the Emirates. Yes, they're playing at home, but what exactly? If Arsenal plays the same game, they're winning it. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like, Arsenal also have their match winners. Yes, they don't have their main 9s in Gabriel Jesus or Havertz, but they've got Bukayo Saka. They got Martinelli, who's looking good right now. They got Declan Rice, who was killing it in the second half. Know what I mean? And they got their back four. Kiwior was good as well in the Emirates game. So if he does it again, why do people think that Arsenal will, you know, give 3 goals away when they haven't done so for 72 games? So and then obviously the whole propaganda that they were doing, it was embarrassing, man. Cool. The game started. They were doing all their nonsense. I think they had a few chances as well to get the first goal. Arsenal, to be fair, had a few chances as well, and I think you had even the better chances, to be honest. Like, especially the first half, you had a penalty. You had the first penalty. Bukayo Saka missed.
Of course, we had that.
And I think there was another. There was another chance as well.
I think it was Martinelli from the left.
Like, in that first half, you played way better than you did in the first half in the Emirates, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and then obviously when it's 0-0 at halftime, and then you keep going, the Madrid, you know, this game is gonna go Arsenal's way. Bukayo Saka redeems himself with a brilliant pass and move combination. Merino finding it perfect run,
Yeah.
and he chips it properly over
Courtois.
Courtois. At that point, what are you thinking then?
At that point, I'm thinking, God damn, we just scored. Like I was in shock. I was honestly in shock. And also I was very, you know what I thought, I tell a lie, is they call Bukayo Saka God's son. If that wasn't
The what?
they call Saka God's son, right?
Godson, yeah.
If that wasn't a great example of how he's God's son, I don't know any other example, because he goes on to do that stupid Panenka penalty, which I think was inspired by Jude. Jude was probably taunting him to do it, and he did it. Because if you look at that conversation, I think Jude whispered it to him, and then he stupidly bit the bait. Then God just said, "No, brother, have another one, have another try," and then he did that, scored. And in my head, I was like, that's it right there. That's the example why he is that great. The fact that he chipped Courtois, the fact that he scored, he shushed, especially after the it was just a great moment for me as an Arsenal fan, because I remember that Henry goal. I remember clear as day, my brother. I remember it. And as an Arsenal fan, I know we don't win a lot that should really be backing up our chat, but it's one of those free moments where you talk about, because it's such a goated goal, and the place where it was done. So yeah, Bukayo getting his moment, that Henry moment, was a kind of for me was I was very proud of him, and it's something we're going to talk about 20 years from now, etc., etc. So yeah, great goal. I was excited, and it was well deserved, if you ask me.
Yeah, 100%, well deserved. It wasn't like it was against the runner play or anything. I think you guys had the better of at that point. And then obviously later in the game, a bit of head loss from Saliba. Vinicius Junior scores the 1-0. At that point, what are you thinking then? Oh shit! Or were you like, nah, we good? Because it was 4-1.
It is funny.
It was 4-1.
It's funny you should say that, because I was watching it with my wife, and we were watching it, and she was obviously very excited for Arsenal. And then once Vinny scored that goal, she's like, now I get it. I get it, how it feels to be an Arsenal fan, because you can never be excited. There's always some bullshit around the corner about to happen. I just thought, yeah, that's why. If you ever watch me, if you ever with me watching football, I never go excited when Arsenal scores. I'm
That's
always
cap,
very
man.
kind of,
Bro, I've
okay,
seen you watch
fair enough,
football
man.
many times, bro.
You haven't. You really haven't. Nowadays, I don't. Nowadays, I don't. I'm very. No, you haven't. If you really seen me, no excitement, because in the back of my mind, I'm scared. I'm like scarred, because it's always something. And literally 2-3 minutes later, Vinny scores due to Saliba's mistake. Someone who rarely ever makes mistakes in regards to that type of um ball loss, if we call it. They score, and you're thinking, okay, now you're doing mental maths. You're like, for them to win, they have to score X amount of goals, etc. And then now you're counting the clock. In my head, I was just looking at the clock, counting the clock. Then 90 minutes comes, and I'm like, there's no way there. I know there's a remontada, but for them to score 4 more goals, like
Mbappe went off as well.
Yeah, Mbappe went off.
Up,
like,
and then I was like, yeah, it's done.
It's done. Yeah, if they score 4 more goals, literally pack this club up. We're done. We're done. I was leaving the group chat, everything in my head, and Martinelli decided to have his moment. Yeah, and I think that goal I was more impressed by, because he's been running 90 minutes non-stop, and he thought, wow, if Saka's about to have my moment, in his moment, I'm about to have mine too. And it's interesting, because I think if you really look at Martinelli's form, it came around when we drew Madrid. I think in his head he thought, okay, the world's about to see lots of Brazilians. I need my name in the conversation. I honestly think that was his mindset, because I think these Brazilians are very competitive, and he knows Madrid. You're playing against Vini, Rodrigo. These are Brazilian wingers, so I need my name in conversations, because I find it weird and funny that his form picked up around that time. So the goal he scored was more of like, okay, I'm getting my goal. I don't care. I'm getting my goal. And fair enough to him. I think he is more than shown that he can hang with them boys. Whether he can do on a consistent basis like a Vinny, well, not this year's Vinny, but Vinny from the past, is left to be seen. But yeah, I was proud of Martinelli for getting that goal. That was a shut up and let's go home goal. And and also it's very important because we beat them home and away. And
impressive.
Yeah.
I think for me that's one of the that's one of the things that Arsenal fans can be proud of. If there's anything to be proud of this season for you guys, it's probably that you've beat Madrid home and away. And as you guys saw in the aftermath of those legs, not many people were chatting shit about you, man. It was just like, okay, fair. Obviously, people tried, but it's like for me, it was just like a congratulation and keep it stepping, man. Keep it stepping.
Yeah, just like I told Striz, just hate tomorrow, bro. Just give today, give us today and hate tomorrow. Yeah.
Obviously Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice, they got their due praise. Obviously they were brilliant in those two legs, but another guy that's not really been getting his praise is Mikel Merino. He was key for the 2 goals in Bernabeu and also scored a good goal at the Emirates as well, man. What are you making of him as of late?
I'm very impressed. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, I'm impressed, man. I was listening to a pod the other day, and someone said he's giving me a Giroud vibe, not Giroud Monaco vibe, but like, like that kind of the link up merchant Giroud, that Giroud that has a good touch, that just links up really well, etc. I mean, I think Merino scoring better goals than Giroud in terms of just the finishing, not the worldly Giroud, because Giroud has those worldly finishes and it's lucky. But on Mikel Merino, I'm impressed, because I remember when he came into the club, I looked at him and I thought we need to see more of him, and I don't think we will, because he needs to get used to the way we play. And that was the case until we lost Kai Havertz and Mikel Arteta decided to push him up front. And I think something changed. He just took on that challenge, and it just unlocked something else within that guy. He just looks a different player. And then we seen him against Ipswich yesterday in midfield, and he just gave a clinic. Just everything he was doing was working. The assist from Martinelli was amazing. And to a point, I'm thinking, did he really mean that assist? If you saw that goal, it was crazy. So I'm very impressed with Mikel Merino. I'm just gonna look forward to just this season. Next season's a whole kettle of fish, in regards to where we go. And I'm just asking for more. Be more consistent, more goals, more, because that's what we need to win the Champions League. More.
So how do you guys, obviously now you're facing PSG, who I want to say they were kind of lucky against Aston Villa, because Aston Villa could have wrapped the tie up in that same game, to be honest. They were struggling. They were struggling after the first 20 minutes. It started off really well. They went 2-0 up, but then after that, Aston Villa just blamed them the whole game, bro. It was nasty. How do you see your chances against PSG? Obviously, you've played against them already in the beginning of the season. Everyone knows they've changed a lot since then. They've had 2 good performances against Liverpool, had a good performance against Aston Villa, but at Villa Park they nearly gave it away. So there are, chinks in their armor, of course, and they're gonna come to England for a 3rd time now to London. From Liverpool, they're going down from Liverpool to Birmingham to down to London, man. How do you see your chances against them?
I mean, really and truly, they're doing a loop, because they came to London first, and then they went to Liverpool, and then to Villa, and then they're back to London again.
Oh yeah,
because we beat them. Yeah, so doing a big loop.
The Emirates, yeah.
I think I do think in both legs we will be victorious.
Woo! Again. So
Yeah.
final. Arsenal the final.
Yeah, final.
Stick talk. Hey, I seen you this confident in a minute, boy. So you're
Yeah.
beating them in Paris, you're beating them in London.
No,
book
no,
the
no,
tickets to
no, no, no.
Munich.
I'm just saying both legs. Like we win, like both legs in terms of aggregate scores. We would win.
Aggregate score. So you'll go through to the final. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. Either way, we're going through. Whether we beat them both legs or we
Mhm.
beat one, lose or draw, I do think because I'm just looking at it from a tactical perspective because you're matching two tacticians in Mikel and his name PSG's
Luis
coach
Enrique.
Enrique. Yes, I do think that what Mikel brings is that defensive solidarity that like very hard to break down, and that will stop PSG's way of playing because they need the space and they attack the space really well. So it will be a game where we will block the space. And then one thing I do like about PSG is they have such a good functioning midfield. So it'll be a game of the mid. So we just have to figure that one out. And I know we're lacking Thomas Partey, which is just a shame. But I think that's essentially where that game is going to fall. And I do think we're going to utilize our set pieces a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that will come handy. But I do think, all in all, we do have players who are in form, and ultimately, I'm backing my team to win. So I'm looking at PSG's game against Liverpool. Very good against Liverpool, but he took it to like penalties. You didn't, you didn't outrightly beat Liverpool from both legs. You understand? Against Villa, it was kitchen sink moment for them. So they have outplayed these two teams, but not to a point where they properly beat them. You understand? It's just they're very dangerous, and you have to be aware of how dangerous they are on the flanks because you have their two wingers that sometimes they swap, and they just keep things interesting. So it falls into the hands of a tactician like Arteta, who is aware of this and who will get his team to be aware of the spaces and just defend. Timber against Kvaratskhelia, that's going to be interesting to see. Dembele against Skelly, that's going to be very interesting to see. I do think all in all we should be fine because we have two wingers that drop back to create like that kind of overload, that 2 against 1. So that's why I do think once that happens, the next best thing is that ball will be recycled back to the midfield, and hence why I do think it now becomes a midfield battle to see who wins. I'm not taking into account how good that PSG's midfield is, but I do think one thing that does help us a lot is our physicality in midfield. So let's wait and see. I'm backing my team.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think you're right in terms of like PSG could have lost easily to Liverpool, lost easily to Villa as well, especially in the second half, lost easily to Villa as well. Meaning they could have easily not been in the semi-finals. It's what I'm following.
Yeah.
And I think Arsenal, to be fair, that you have kind of earned your corner. I know PSV was a nice draw for you guys, but Madrid, you've earned it 5-1 on aggregate. But I do think it's pretty even this game, man. You mentioned it quite well. I think the battle will be won in midfield. I think their attacking power is so much that obviously Arsenal need to be wary about. I know you guys will probably double up, but there's going to be a lot of running that needs to be done on both sides, man. And obviously, ultimately, we have seen that PSG, they kind of sometimes struggle with like the English intensity. And maybe that might see Arsenal through. They've overcome it against Liverpool. They overcome it against Villa, but would it overcome it a third time? That remains to be seen in it. That's the only thing that I can see Arsenal winning, because especially with like a Declan Rice who's now feeling himself, back-to-back man of the match. Declan Rice is feeling it. You can tell from his performances. Mikel Merino feeling himself. Bukayo Saka is back to his normal self. Odegaard he needs to step up, but these are the games to do it, right? Martinelli is feeling himself.
Mhm.
The back five is feeling himself. So, yeah, man, I think,
I
yeah,
think
I can see Arsenal go
what they
through.
would do is, I think what they would do in terms of that midfield is like you see the Ruiz, Vitinha, and Neves just popping that ball, because that's what they did to Liverpool and to Villa. In order to control the intensity, they just kept on passing. Like the way they're taking particular positions in the midfield and just kept on passing the ball just to stop that intensity, which is what they will try to do against us. And I think to a point they will be successful because they have great technical players. But that's essentially the onus is on Arsenal to stop that, to physically
Yeah,
dominate them. And it's
yeah,
going to be a great tactical game. It's just ultimately you'll have to make a judgment call from what you've seen, and my
mhm,
judgment call is on Arsenal.
yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what I said. But yeah, I do agree. It's going to be tight, but yeah, ultimately
I
Arsenal
do also,
is
I do also
victorious.
think that Arsenal have a great. If there's any chance of winning the Champions League, it's probably now. However,
Mm.
the only team that will stop you and that have stopped you this season in the Champions League will be
Inter.
Inzaghi's Inter Milan. Because I think if you meet them in the final, I'm giving it to Inter.
Yeah,
Because I feel like Arsenal do really well against teams that come out. When teams are acting like, yo, we're gonna match you band for band, blow for blow. Arsenal does well against them. They either draw whatever or they end up winning the game and it backfires on the opposing teams. Know what I mean? But I think Inter Milan, they're happy to give you the ball. They're happy to play Arsenal at their game, basically. And even soaking pressure, knowing that, remember the game that you guys lost against them. They didn't even play their full strength side and they still
yeah.
managed to keep a clean sheet and withstand that pressure, So I think, I've
To
seen I've
to
seen a
be
few of their
fair,
games.
if to play devil's advocate, even though I agree to what you've said, because they didn't play some of their main key players who were on the bench. The goal they got was via a penalty, which was very harsh, right? So yeah, it's a very harsh pen. So it's kind of like, all right, cool. If you're playing devil's
Yeah, yeah.
advocate, the only point which I take is they went full strength, which could have been a different game altogether. And were we even full strength? Because Saka played. Saka did play. I feel
Yeah,
like we're
Saka did
missing
play. Now
someone.
you guys were more full strength. I think you were missing Odegaard, but I'm
Oh, the
not
God,
sure. But
yes,
I
yeah,
could double check. But maybe you were missing
yeah. I think
Odegaard.
yeah.
But yeah, they I think they were focusing on a league game at that time. I think they had Napoli
Mm,
that same week as well. But yeah, I think Barcelona will be an interesting game because I think Barcelona are a very strong side. But
agreed.
if you see the way Hansi Flick plays, that plays
Yeah,
into Arsenal's hands. It plays totally into our,
yeah.
and he doesn't switch up neither. So yeah,
If you have Lewandowski playing, I would be worried. This is why I'm not too worried against PSG, because PSG lacks a good nine. If once PSG
mm,
gets a good nine, they'll become more or less, then they will take the next step.
agree.
If they get a good nine, yeah, they'll take the next step. So similar to like, well, not similar, but different to Barca. But with Lower just has that extra, because now you're not just worried about Rafinha or Yamin Lamar on the other wings, right? You got another extra player as a nine who's a very experienced nine and one of the best nines we've seen. Yeah, that creates more of an issue. But from what I'm hearing, Lewa is injured for quite is out for quite a while. So I don't know. Let's wait and see. I'm not sure how that affects the game with against Inter.
Yeah, I
Um,
think he'll be out for the Inter games. So if they reach the
yeah,
final, I think he'll be back for that. But I
yeah.
think it will affect the Inter game. So yeah, man, let's see, man. But yeah, shout out Arsenal. Semi-finals, first time in a minute. PSG reached the semi-finals as well. Barca reached the semi-finals, beating Dortmund. Dortmund beat them in Dortmund
Yeah,
as well.
don't beat them.
But on aggregate, and then obviously Inter Milan beat Bayern Munich. Um, I had that game on the side, man. I think Inter. Yeah, I think Simeone Inzaghi's very, very good coach, man. I really like the way Inter plays. They could switch it up. If backs are against the wall, then all of a sudden they know
Mm,
how to play. They know how to pass the ball. They know how to play with intensity.
yeah,
Once they lead, they can set up shop and it'll be very difficult. But saying that, I think Bayern Munich, they did have the better chances. Harry Kane in both legs missed at least one sitter in it. So I think Olise as well in that game in Milan. So I think Bayern Munich were very unlucky, man. But shout out Inter. Yeah, man. Good semi-finals, got quarterfinals. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed. Let's go to the second tier of the European competitions because that happened as well. That was pretty excited as well. Athletic Bilbao saw off Rangers, Glasgow Rangers. They went through to the semi-finals and they will meet Man United, who played the second leg at United through crazy circumstances, man. Like,
Yeah.
I think the first leg ended in 2-2. Was it 2-2? I think.
Yeah, 2-2. Yeah,
2-2, I
because
think, first leg.
Cherki scored the dying goal.
Dying goal, yeah. And then it went into extra time, and then what do you call it? Then Manchester went up 4-2 up, and then Bruno Fernandes penalty 4-3. Kobe Mainoo with the equalize. Very good goal from Kobe Mainoo, to be honest. And then Harry Maguire a minute later, man. Like, that was, in terms of like hate watching from like a neutral point of view, from like a Liverpool point of view, it did not click in Europe whatsoever. Arsenal won, United won. The way United won just pissed me off, man. But it was brilliant to see, man. However,
but you see
did you watch the game?
Lyon, I saw parts of it. Then
yeah,
it's just boring, bro. I don't like watching United play. It's boring. So then
that
after a while,
was fun though.
No. When Lyon would win, I thought, okay, done and dusted. Let me go, because I was doing date night as well. Like, we were watching other things, so I was like, okay. Yeah, let me just put something else. And then, of course, following the scores and group chat, because that's where the banter has been run. I just put my phone down, picked it up the next, like, literally 10 minutes, and United are winning. I was like, okay, fair enough, bro. Fair enough. Good game. Well done.
Rayan Cherki, that's one player I've been talking about for a very, very long time, man.
Yeah,
that guy, he's shown, obviously there's a lot of things in the background been said about him, that he's too lazy, he doesn't work, he's got a bad attitude. Lyon want to get rid of him for a very, very low price. If there's one stage where he had to show himself, or he wanted to show himself, it was obviously this game, knowing that, you know, people will be watching this game, man. And he did, man. Yeah. What did you make of him? Or what do you make of him?
I think we've been knowing about Rayan Cherki for a while now, and I guess the biggest question is, usually with these talents, they're snapped up really quick mostly by the German clubs. So like either the German or like what's them, some of the Red Bull one in Austria. So that's really how. Yeah. So in terms of, okay,
that's the pathway.
That's the pathway towards like Dortmund, etc. But he just stayed in France, and then you start asking yourself why. And then perhaps these rumors about him as a person become a more like a beaten stick to really stop him, or to paint a bad light. But forget about all that, and let's just focus on football and what he did on the pitch. Both games, both for tie, it was great.
Crazy.
It was crazy. Great. Yeah, it was crazy. So great. The question now is, where do we go from here? And if Lyon are foolish enough to sell him for cheap, then good, then someone can take a chance.
I think it's I read it. It's like it's two things. They need a bread because Lyon are in huge debt. So there's a few other players that need to be sold, and there's an agreement been made with the player. So he could have actually gone in January for that amount. But I think no one snapped him up. So I think in the summer, I think that particular clause is still there. So let's see, man, if he will move on.
Without taking him at Arsenal, yes, just to kind of digress a little bit. But if he has attitude problems, I don't know how he would fare with the top managers, because they don't stand for that.
Yeah, I think even top players at top clubs won't stand for that. So
yeah.
I don't know if I want to believe those rumors, but from what I've seen, he applied himself. But at the same time, you're playing against Manchester United. You're trying to put yourself on that stage, in it. So I don't want to read too much into that. But Lazio as well. They lost. I think they were my favorites to win the tournament, to be fair, but they lost against Bodo Glimt. 3-1. They lost 3-1 at Bodo Glimt, and then 1-3-1 in Rome, but they lost on penalties. And Bodo Glimt will face Spurs, who beat Eintracht Frankfurt. Pretty surprising, 1-0. Dominic Solanke penalty in Frankfurt and through. So Ange is still here with us, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Spurs fans are seeming pretty confident of reaching the final, getting past Bodo Glimt. I'm here to tell them right now, maybe in London, but
not
over in Norway. You're not. Yeah. You need to do the job there because that's where.
Was it Villa that played Bodo Glimt and they basically were lucky? It was
hella teams. I think Madrid lost there as well. I think last season. I think United had troubles over there. Like a lot of teams go over there and don't do well, bro. I can't remember. I think who did Jose Mourinho coach? Roma went there and got slapped for 6. They got beat 6-0 2 seasons ago. So that Norway trip in that tight stadium with like 1,000 capacity, yeah, it's not nice over there, man. So I think Spurs, if they're gonna win, they have to do it in London. But yeah, man, and then Chelsea, obviously, the Conference League, not interesting to be honest.
I think Chelsea, if they don't win that, then there's a problem.
Yeah, it's peak. Chelsea fans were really upset that they lost against Legia Warsaw because not only did they get beat, but they were second best apparently. Didn't watch the game, but yeah. Poor on Chelsea, to be honest.
Just to kind of have that conversation, if Chelsea wins this particular trophy, they've done a clean sweep.
Yeah, they've done everything. So that's the motivation for them.
Yeah.
Every European trophy. Yeah. So they need to win it. And I think they want to win it as well because of that.
That's quite like as an Arsenal fan, that's quite good. My head can't come with any superlative from rather than good, but that is something.
Yeah, no, of course. It's great.
Yeah.
I think any top team, even like last season, where I was like Liverpool should win the Europa League. If you consider yourself an elite team, if you go down into these lower competitions, you should aim to win it. There's nothing more, nothing less. And I feel like Chelsea and the United, they get that. But I don't feel like a Liverpool really gets that when you're actually European royalty, but you only want to show it in the Champions League. You have to show it everywhere, bro. You have to show that you're the guy, innit? So I can see United stumbling and winning the Europa League. Why? Because we're United. They won that game because we're United. You're coming at Argo. You're not. We will lose to Wolves at home, but we're not losing to Lyon. You know what I mean? That's the mentality.
But also,
man.
I kind of feel like just going back on Lyon. If you're, that's more of an indictment on Lyon than United. You can't lie, because if you're winning, right? What it was 4-2 at one point, wasn't it?
They were with 10 man though.
That's what I'm saying. But like 10 man, just fucking low block that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like 4-2. It's a disgrace for you to be losing that 5-4.
Yeah. 100%. It's a shame, especially
because clock this now. You go semis and you can just lock your way to the finals. You win it. That's more money that's more bread. Yeah. So yeah, I obviously not to play the hater too tough and to give United their props, brother. Like that is disgraceful from Lyon, in my opinion.
No, 100%, man. Let's move on to last weekend's game week 33 games then. Because obviously the Premier League is still going. I know you don't care too tough about the Premier League, Mace, but you know that's still a competition you're in. Contrary to popular belief. Obviously, Brentford beat Brighton 4-2. Brighton not looking good for them European spots. Crystal Palace, Bournemouth ended in 0-0. Everton lost to Man City 2-0. Sorry, that O'Reilly, Donny, Nico O'Reilly. I don't know where he came from, but he has been hooping ever since Prep has introduced him. Absolutely hooping, and he's getting a new contract as well, man. So he's earned his corn. City are doing pretty well at the moment. They're currently 5th. So they got a Champions League spot. And then West Ham v Southampton ended a 1-1 draw. Obviously, that Southampton were already confirmed that they've relegated last week.
Man like Fulkrug coming out and just cheering into his teammates. Did you see that?
What did he say? Nah, what did he say?
He was obviously annoyed with the fact they conceded so late. And his point is, as a team, when you're winning, when you want to go up, what you shouldn't be doing is dropping back. You have to be pushing. You have to be pressing. And his point is some people want to press, some people are not good enough and they want to sit back. And so that creates inconsistency with how you play, which results in you like giving up goals last minute and stifling progression within the team. And I thought that was very it's a very honest thing to say. But the problem with criticism sometimes is people people don't like it. And if you're Mr. Fulkrug and you're not like you don't score lots of goals and you're not known within the league as being that guy, you're shut on basically. It's just like, who are you for you to be criticizing us? But he makes a very salient point. So for me, I'm like, okay, yeah, I agree that he isn't perhaps not the best speaker, the best person to say that, but you should listen.
He makes a good point. Yeah, he makes a good point.
A great
for sure.
point. Yeah.
In the for business for like Champions League places, Villa absolutely needed to win this. You can call it a 6-pointer against Newcastle. Absolutely smashed them 4-1. Ian Maatsen, Watkins, Onana with the goal, Shaw for Newcastle. But yeah, Newcastle absolutely, they picked up where they left off from against PSG, man. Blitz Newcastle. I didn't expect this, to be honest. I expected a good game. It kind of was to a point, but yeah, it wasn't competitive at all, man. Good 3 points from Aston Villa. They're now 7th, so
you see that Newcastle, right?
1 point.
They just love to turn up against Arsenal and Liverpool. Apart from they'll just bend over for everyone, bro. They're pricks.
But Newcastle have been winning 5 games on a bounce, though, to be fair to them. So this is kind of like a shock result, I will say. But at the same time, Aston Villa has been picking up points. Yeah.
I mean, they're currently sitting 4th at the moment.
They're in a great position.
Spurs. Yeah.
They're in a great position, Newcastle. They climbed. And Aston Villa, they're the most informed team in the league. 5 wins out of 5.
I can't lie. That's third. The 3rd and 7th position is crazy. Because right now it's like first are winning and they're 60 points. Villa 57. So if Forest lose,
3 points.
It's 3 points.
No one can lose, basically. And most of them are playing each other as well. They're playing each other as well. So it'll just be interesting.
It would be so funny because Newcastle are coming to Arsenal, I think, to play us. It's so funny if we dump them out of the Champions League spots.
Wednesday is also Man City, Aston Villa as well, so that'll be a good game. They're both
that would be a good game.
They're all playing each other, but so it'll be really, really funny. Really, really funny to see, man. Obviously, we touched on it briefly, but Arsenal beat Ipswich 4-0. Trossard, Martinelli, and Ranieri with the goal. I think it all solidifies. I don't think Arsenal's involved in the Champions League. Wahala. It solidifies Arsenal as second place team.
We need one more win, I think. But yeah, agreed.
And then Man United lost against Wolves. Great Sarabia free kick.
Sarabia.
And it's funny, right? Because people are saying that, United fans especially are saying that we can't be too harsh on Amorim, this, that, and the other. He needs his players to perform this magic. But it's the same Portuguese manager at Wolves. They joined at the same time. He plays the same system. And he's picked up 60 more points than Amorim.
The same points.
They're on the same points at the moment.
Same points. It's crazy.
And Wolves are the second most informed team in the league in the past 5 games. So that begs the question. But I think someone posed this question on Amorim as well. And Amorim basically said he has better players to fit that system than I have. That's what Amorim's
I mean, to be fair, okay, you know what?
He's not saying that he has better players. He has the players that he has at Wolves fits that 3 at the back system better than what I have at United. That's basically what he's saying.
Okay, you know what? I might agree with that because I'm just looking at it. I'm looking at the players Wolves have, and I think my issue with Wolves, I've always been saying this, that they have good players, but just they can't defend, and their head loss is just monumental, right? So I think Amorim might be right. Wolves do have good players when you compare them, when you benchmark them with like United players. So yeah, I might agree with Amber Rubin here.
That's funny. And then the final game on Sunday was Leicester against Liverpool. Obviously the Ipswich one, Arsenal relegated Ipswich, and then Liverpool relegated Leicester as well, with with goal
Trent.
from Alexander Arnold. Great. First, can you believe that's his first ever left-footed goal in the Premier League?
No,
Not in Premier League,
goal.
in every competition. It was a good goal. What did you make of his celebration? Because obviously
It's
there's lots of things going around. Liverpool fans are getting hope again. But yeah, oh my god, he's passionate. Others are kissing their teeth. I've seen hella clips going around of Liverpool fans not even moved because Trent Alexander-Arnold scored. That's funny. But yeah, what did you make of it?
It's quite interesting because I thought I was betting whether he would ever play for Liverpool after everything, because he could just easily use
really?
the injury excuse, like, like what else am I playing?
Nah, I don't see him doing that.
No. I was kind of like bench, like trying to figure it out. Like, okay, I'm off to Madrid now. Like the relationship here is sour. Why do I need to play for Liverpool to get my abuse? But clearly he still loves the club, and clearly that celebration was, listen, I'm here to do a job. I love the club, and I'm glad we won. And I'm the man. Like, so respect me. It was more of like a respect me type of celebration. And the decision I've made. I know we've had this conversation about Trent and decisions, and I think we both agree that, I mean, if you couldn't get him into a contract, then you have to accept it. And I think that's really the message for most Liverpool fans. Just accept it, because if you're talking about, he should have left for a fee, that also has its own complications and compensations.
They would have chat shit same way.
Yeah, exactly. So that celebration, I rated it. Especially because he could have just easily celebrated with the players and just done like a sheepish celebration to the fans, but he just backed up his shirt. He didn't whatever, and just showed Liverpool that he's always gonna be one of them. And I guess that's more of a love to the fans, and just a reminder that Trent is Trent, and Liverpool, Madrid are gonna have a great player on their hands once they sign him. So not happy, not mad about that celebration. It was
no. I totally agree with you, man. That's how I saw it. That's exactly how I saw it as well, man. More like I'm that guy in it. You guys can chat your shit, whatever, but just know I'm still that guy. And also that you could potentially see this as like a title confirming goal, because obviously we need one more win. But if you guys lose against Crystal Palace on Wednesday, then the league is won. So so you could kind of see it that way as well. You could also see it that we were struggling. We didn't really I mean, we did create chances, but we couldn't really score. Leicester had their few chances as well. He comes up from the bench and then scores the winner. Of course you're gonna celebrate like that. I mean, as in, like, you still need me to get shit done. So that's exactly how I saw it, man. But Liverpool, one more win for this league to be wrapped up. I think it will be a record as well, as the earliest that a league. Nah, it's not a record. When did we win?
I think you guys did it.
Liverpool. We guys did it. Yeah. We guys did it in 2020, but I forgot when. I think it was game week 33. So it's not a record anymore. But man,
we were chasing that invincible record the same year, and then it didn't click.
What was I gonna say?
You can't win the league.
Yeah, so sorry, we can win the league without playing, but I think for a lot of Liverpool fans, probably for the first time this season, we'll be supporting Arsenal, because I think it will be better to have that moment with the fans in the stadium. Not to say that beating Spurs is a given. I'm not saying that at all. But obviously the motivation to do it, then doing it in your home ground at Anfield, beating Spurs, and then being confirmed would probably be better than Arsenal losing against Palace and then them man being somewhere in the pub. Yeah, you know what I mean? I think the other way around. It will be much better, man. So for me, I know Arsenal will probably win anyway, but Yeah, if you win it, you win it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you win it, I guess. But in terms of the motion in it, and the motion will be different on Sunday, in it. But yeah, one more win, man. Like from me, from a Liverpool perspective, man. I think let me say, like from game week 10, I saw this coming, man. I'm never gonna lie to you. I probably did see it coming like this in terms of like I did feel like it would be much more of a race to the end. But I did see it coming because I think the gap then was like 9 points. I know there was all types of things where like 9 points gap has never been bridged at this stage of the season. In my head, I was just thinking, why should it be us? Why should we be the fools? I mean, it wasn't gonna happen, man. And yeah, the players saw it through. I think the last couple of games as well, we haven't really. I know we lost against. Who did we lose against again? Fulham. Yes, we lost against Fulham. But then prior to that, you know, especially in the league, we didn't really lose any games. We've just been the most consistent. We've just been, I think, the best as well. Most goals scored. Not the best defense. That's still Arsenal, but obviously, 10 goal difference on Arsenal. I mean, I think it's pretty clear, man, that, you know, we've been the worthy champions. Arsenal, you can say a lot. They had injuries, ref decisions. But I think ultimately, man, if you look at the start of the season, I think that's where the league was won, where like Arsenal dropped a lot of points at the start of the season. You can argue that in the midpoints, they dropped a lot of points as well, but so did Liverpool, and the gap was still not improved on. I mean, so all in all, man, I think like domestically, man, it's been a great season for us, 100%.
Yeah, I agree with you. From an Arsenal's point of view, we can say all of that, but then also just looking at the improvements we've seen when Saka plays for us, and then you think if he was playing, how close this race would have been. Well, it mighty close, because that's just a shame. But you just have to give props to the guys who beat you to first, and Liverpool were all the guys. So well done, and we'll see you guys next year.
Is it now for Arsenal a thing where like, calm? We're happy for you to take the league now. We're onto bigger, better things in the champs. Or is it still like a level of sort of a disappointment? Let's say if you don't win the champs, right? How will you view the season?
It would be I think whatever happens, this is gonna be so shameful, but whatever happens, people will go to the pub and drink themselves with that Madrid win. I think that's essentially what would happen, because you're gonna have to look for positives if we don't win champs. You understand? So that means it would be a very somber feeling watching Liverpool win, and perhaps, I mean, imagine if Spurs wins a European Cup. That's going to be crazy. And if we don't win anything, or even like United win something, so exactly, it could just be a terrible end of the season. But if you
Heartbreak, I need that.
it could.
I actually
be,
need that.
It's heartbreak. It could be heartbreaking. However, we know why we are where we are. I mean, because if you look at Arteta's Arsenal, he's always improved year on year, and it only means that next year is going to be better. So next
But
year,
league wise, it's a regression.
I wouldn't say a regression, because there's reasons why. You understand? There are reasons why. So,
but you have to deal with that though. Like, you can use the
and
injuries. You can use the. I don't even want to use the ref things because that happens to everyone. But you can use the injuries. But a regression is a regression, bro.
I won't call it a regression, because I think if you look at Arsenal, you can say they're required. They need certain reinforcement in certain positions. I won't only call it a regression as if we do have that, and then we hit second again without any progression.
Okay, but then you can't factually say that he improved you season on season.
I mean, he has, because if you look at some Champions League, last season were quarterfinals, this season was semi-finals. So it's been been a progression. It's been a progression. It has. And interestingly, the Athletic,
for me it's only a progression if you win it.
Fair enough.
Can't lie.
And that's a very hard line stance to take, and you are within your rights to take
Think
that step.
about it. Let me elaborate. Think about it, because you're in the league. You're not getting more points than 89 points that you had last season. You're not getting that. So already in the league, that's a regression. In the 2 domestic cups, you're still doing what you're doing. It's not going really far in. But I think you went to the semi-finals, right, in the Caribbean,
Yes,
in
we
the
did
Carabao
against
Cup, yeah,
Newcastle.
and then
Yeah.
Newcastle, yeah, and then Champions League. Okay, you've gone a stage further, but then it's a tournament. You still need to go all the way to win it for there to be progression. You know what I mean? So for me, I don't really see reaching the
Well,
semi-final stage.
don't you think the fact that when you get to that stage of the Champions League is more of like a mentality where you have how to play with the top teams, because
Yeah,
we've
100%.
lacked that mentality, and the fact that he's got a challenging, even though Madrid went as good, but we still have to beat these great players in
Yeah,
front of
no,
us.
no, 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 no,
I
no,
mean,
no,
like,
no, no,
so yeah,
no, no, no.
I think
But would you say that overall?
I
Let's say you
understand what you're saying.
no, no, no.
Don't get me wrong.
Let's say you fought you get defeated. Not let's say you PSG defeats you. You
Yeah.
don't end up winning the league. Would you say overall has been an improvement your season? Just overall,
I,
not just in Champions League.
No, well, I wouldn't say that's a good question. I would say it depends. I think for from the perspective of the Champions League, yes. For the perspective of the league, no. Why? There are reasons, I would say. And
What about everything else? Everything, because you're in 4 competitions in total. It's not just those 2.
I think there's work to be done. So it hasn't been good from like the FA Cup point of view. EFL actually we've done better because this is semi-finals. So there's work to be done. But like Tolkien has said, like I said, Arteta's still the man, and the team, the club has to back him. We got Andrea Berta now, so hopefully when we go into the market, we can begin our targets. Um, I still have hope, and I still believe in the project, etc. But it comes to a time when you need to be holding something tangible, and that's essentially what football is. You need to be winning as a team, so like Arsenal with the dominant. Well, in terms of how big the club is, you need to be winning, and
Yeah.
that's where the bottom line is. So yeah, congratulations, Liverpool. I won't take this particular conversation away, Liverpool. Chapeau, and yeah, hopefully I can talk about something by the end of the season about being European champions.
I can't let that happen, man. Before we head over to
Watch.
the bar, man. Obviously, this week or last week, sorry, we had Mohamed Salah confirmed that he's staying for another 2 years. We had Virgil van Dijk confirmed that he's staying for another 2 years. So I think
Yeah.
obviously that's great news from a Liverpool perspective, in my opinion. To be fair, man, unlike other Liverpool fans, I am not entirely fussed about the Salah one, if I have to be honest, because I feel with that one, I know he's won us the league this season, but if he was to leave, I wouldn't have been too whatever, because I know he's getting on a bit. And I think with him, to replace him, you can be if the team is creative, you can replace him with like 2-3 players in it.
Yeah.
But Virgil van Dijk for me was the most important one, man, because for me, he's still clear as a centre back in world football. But especially his influence on the team. Even the game last week in the I keep forgetting who we play, man. What was the game last week that we played? West Ham. Where West Ham were blitzing us in the second half. They got the equalizer, which was an own goal, and then he was the one to step up to score the winner from a corner, which he hardly does, but all of a sudden then he did. Know what I mean? So it's just things like that. I remember like last year in the Carabao Cup final, we were struggling to get goals. Who gets the winner? Virgil van Dijk. When he gets on crosses, he's good with his head, but he doesn't score as much as he should. Know what I mean? But when it matters, he does come up clutch, man. And even defensively and everything, man. I think he would be so hard to replace, even with more bodies or just a singular body. So to get him to sign was huge, man. So getting 2 out of the 3 to sign and to shepherd in the next generation of slots men for the upcoming seasons is so important, man. And I think for Slot as well, I think he would be happy to have these 2. I'm sure he'll be happy for Trent to sign as well, but it is what it is, man. I think in the Leicester game, we saw what Conor Bradley can do. We saw what he can offer. He's not Trent. Don't get me wrong. definitely not Trent. He doesn't offer the same amount of attacking quality as Trent, but um, just get like someone to compete with Bradley on a similar level. I think that can do the job, and then you would have to get a creative midfielder to compensate for what Trent's so good at. So I think that's what Liverpool needs to do, man. But yeah, from your point of view, man, Virg, Salah signing on. Did you expect it? How do you feel about
Yeah,
it?
after a while, I just accepted that they would sign. I think it would be a disaster if Liverpool lost three of them. So
Mm.
they would have had to agree to one or two. It made sense for Virg. I mean, I sneakily thought Virg would go to PSG. Because
Really?
yeah, I think I mean, they will pay him well. It's not like he needs the money, and
Mm.
at least PSG, that particular project is a little bit exciting. You know what I mean? So yeah, but the fact that he said that his intentions was always to play for Liverpool and stay in Liverpool. That's quite great. Not yesterday I heard from what's his name, the guy from Athletic,
Ornstein.
um Ornstein. Yeah, he was talking about Chelsea were looking to get him, but of
Yeah,
course
yeah.
once he confirmed that he was staying in Liverpool, that fell through. So yeah, agree with you. Verge is very important because it's very hard to compensate for that level of experience and quality, especially as in defense is very important.
Especially
Um,
as the
my,
thing.
yeah, my only issue is with these guys who are going on in age. When at what point does that fall off happen? You just don't know. I feel like it's kind of like today you're fine, tomorrow you're like, what's going on? At what point does that fall off happen? And perhaps like with someone like Mo Salah, it just feels like he's always, to me, whenever I look at Salah, he's always going to be Salah. But then I'm also aware that that fall off is coming. When does it come? Because when I looked at that Nuno Mendes against Salah and I saw how Mendes bodied Salah, I was thinking actually it's quite closer than I think, because I've never seen Salah bodied like that. Never. And I thought,
I think people been saying this Salah thing for 4 years, bro. Even the last
yeah,
contract, when he signed the last contract, I think you said that would be an Aubameyang thing. I was like, not
mm,
everyone is like Aubameyang or Ozil, bro. Like some people will even sometimes get better, and I think Salah, mentality
yeah,
wise, he's top, man. And yeah, obviously, like there are games where Salah is, being completely taken out of the game physically. Um, but yeah, obviously he kind of compensates, and it's even good to hear like you saw like other players' reactions to when Salah signed, like Ola Aina, for example. That just shows to me like us fans, we don't know shit because these players that they play against week in week out, they know
yeah.
what the real is in it. And
Mm,
who was it? Not Ola Aina, it was someone else. It was also a fullback. The Spurs one, Jet Spence, where he
yes,
was
Spence,
like,
yeah.
in a 1v1, I can handle Salah. But everything around it, I'm not able to handle it because Salah's movement, Salah, if you're not switched on, that nigga scored a goal or he's
Yeah.
assisting. So it's all these other things that Salah's added to his game that now
It's
that
just
he's
so
older, that
clinical, brother. It's just
yeah,
like you just can't be just you can't you can't rest with Salah.
you
And that's
can't
the
rest. That's the
you
point.
can't rest
So
with him.
if you feel like you got him on a physical thing, that's fine. But I think with Salah, you have to really rattle him, like Nuno Mendes did, to take him completely out of the game. In it, I think that's what needs to happen with Salah, man. But yeah, I'm happy that he signed on as well, and I'm just excited for the future, man, because it seems like one of the prerequisites for a Van Dijk at least was that the project needed to be exciting going in the future, and he mentioned that as one of his reasons as well that the future's looking bright. So yeah, man, let's see what will happen, man, and let's head over to the bar. J to the Mace. Have you got any shots for the man them?
Yeah, I do have some shots. Of course, seeing what we did in Madrid and we shut down that Remontada, I'm gonna give shots for all the boys. So tonight I am full enough. To the whole team, especially Declan, Saka. Who else would be is there? Martinelli, that back line of Saliba and Kivio. I would probably have a little shot because yeah, you done well, but I still think you have like a a little issue in you, but I will still give you your props. Yeah, the whole team, the whole team. My shot goes out to the Arsenal team and also to Liverpool. Congratulations for winning the league. We'll see you next season.
It's not done yet, man. It's not done yet. Just lose against
Mm.
Palace, innit? Then you can congratulate me properly, man.
No worries.
Yeah, I've got two shots actually to Mo and Virg, of course. Kind of alluded to it earlier, but obviously signing new contracts, being there for 2 years, ushering in the new generation. And yeah, I'm excited to see kind of what you said, Base, man. Like, when will the fall off happen? I hope it doesn't happen in the next 2 years. But you know, I kind of don't see it happening neither, to be honest. And if they fall off, I don't think it will be a dramatic fall off. It will just be at the level of the rest of the league, I guess. But yeah. My shots to them, new contract. Shout out Virg as well, because apparently he's agreed on the same pay as well. So
Right.
he's not getting a pay rise, but I know with Liverpool it's very bonus incentivized.
Hella bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's hella bonuses.
yeah.
I remember the last time when we won the league, hella bonuses were triggered. And apparently that was one of the reasons why we didn't like cut that many players that following season. Because hella things needed to be paid out, bro. So I think the same thing will happen again, man. But yeah, we move, man. J to the Mace.
Good.
Thank you, sir, again for pulling up. Toast the Striz obviously couldn't be here today, but they are here in spirit. Like, subscribe, share as always, and we will try and be back next week, if not the week after, man. My name is Andrew, aka Rapping Drew. J to the Mace. We are the VBP boys, and we out. Peace.